Well, we didn't want it to come to this, my friends, but the fact is we are at war with Prussia. I've crossed over to this bridge in the Rhineland just to be able to have a little bit of a defensive position in case they try to attack us, but I think it's time to take the revolutionary forces and go for the charge. Now, you can see that our guys have suffered from the winter. It hasn't been easy out here in the Rhineland with all of this snow all over the damn place. And as you can see, Berthold Gea, one of the enemy generals, has quite a lot of guard regiments here, quite a lot of grenadier battalions. I'm not even sure if we could stand up to such a force, but we're probably going to end up trying. I'm going to continue the siege here. Another option would be to bring our other army forward and pretty much just start moving. The issue is I don't think this army is quite prepared for a fight. And what we could do here is we could try to bring some additional troops to this battle, although winning it with just that army would be quite significant. I think, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to get this army right there on the border. So if this battle kicks off and we win, we'll be prepared to move right in and consolidate our gains in Cologne. And then at that point we'll have Strasbourg, Stuttgart, Cologne. Guys, we're gonna be on the way to accomplishing our goal to having everything up to the Rhine. And then of course we'll have to turn our attention to the Prussians. Such a shame too, because we were more than willing to be their friends, but they don't feel the same. We're also retreating very quickly from Upper Louisiana. If you haven't seen the episode on what happened there, make sure to check out our most recent episode. And in the meantime, I'm trying to save up enough money to get a gouvernement here, but I'm not even sure that necessarily gives us troops. So I think we may need to go to one of our other islands and focus on troops, and we also still have our eye on all of the rebel territories here. Dutch Guyana, Curacao. Somebody recommended in the comments, and I thought this was a great idea, was to take one of our armies, just send it over and grab them. In fact, even just take a small army. So we might do that, but for now I'm just going to let our economy regain a bit of its footing, since we have been spending money left and right. And let's get ready for potentially the largest battle we've had here in our campaign. It is about to begin, my friends, and we still have Niel Fosse, one of the heroes of the revolution, against a more experienced general, Berthold Gea. I think one of the benefits here, they don't seem to have too much in the ways of cavalry. So we're really going to have to try and maximize if we want to come out with a victory. Guys, this is going to determine essentially how the future is with the Prussians here. Are they going to be a serious problem, or can we kind of stem their tide right now? Maybe. Only time will really tell. Let's take a look at this setup. Cities directly ahead of us. We have a bunch of these cavalry forces as well prepared to move, so I'm going to set them up over here. Let's make sure that our cannons are constantly firing. Go ahead and get some additional cannons, and I'm going to put them right in front here. Actually, I want to get a good trajectory, so probably right here. We're going to have to move that thing forward for sure. We're absolutely going to have to move that cannon forward. With this cannon, I will make an exception and go ahead and unload. Now, I'm thinking I'm going to send some of the infantry into these trees, but let's be honest, out here on the snow, there's really not much cover. So it may just come down to us making the best use of the existing cover. It's going to be that tree line right there, and maybe that tree line right there. So I think what we'll do is take these 3 units, send them over here, and try to get the battle started. Vive la France, vive le pays. Let's get into the fight. It begins, and look at that, the enemy army spreading out just like a massive eagle at this point. They're definitely going over here to this right side. So let's start pushing forward here. We'll readjust these men once we get here. Right now, I just want them in the actual tree line. And it looks like we've already got some shells going towards them. Gotta love those howitzers. They always get the job done. Enemy's got some damn rockets, guys. I thought we were well off. Not the case. I'm also going to take these 2 infantry units. And even though I don't really think they're going to be coming over this way, I'm going to push them right up there to that smaller tree line. We'll take our cavalry. In fact, let's take that second artillery. There we go. I think now it's time to unlimber it. Perfect. But I want to take those cavalry units, and I'm going to send a few of them, all of them really, to this right side to get prepared. Let's see how that infantry's doing getting into their position. And they are completely trying to outflank our army. Look at this. Are they going all the way around? They might be. They might be. I'm getting right to the edge there. I want to start firing shots. I'm not liking this positioning. It doesn't benefit us at all. Here we go. Very tremendous artillery there as well. And to simplify this, we should just do this. Some additional cavalry over there on the right side. And again, I'm just trying to do everything possible to ensure that they don't completely flank us. If they want to attack us here, so be it. Starting to create that hornet's nest. You guys know I'm a big fan of the hornet's nest positioning here in these battles. Let's do something like this. Just for a start. Those wolves know that they're going to be getting a meal pretty soon. I'll even keep a cavalry de ligne behind the men over here. Now, as for these two guys on the left side, I really don't see much use for them except to harass the enemy. So we're going to push them over here into these woods and even potentially begin firing at those enemy there. I do have to keep some of the men here, though. There's no doubt about that. In fact, I'll even send over a unit of carabiniers to increase the firepower. Here we go. It is beginning. Come on, boys. Garde du Corps. They've got some of our own French Garde du Corps here, guys. Unbelievable. Enraging. Previously royalists, now working with the Prussians. I am just disgusted, my friends. Well, let's keep on working on them, particularly on those infantry ahead of us. Kill them all! Pour la révolution! And here we go, also engaging that enemy on the left. That seems to have worked the way we wanted it to. Although I want to get those carabiniers forward because they could probably get a nice flank attack. Now again, they are carabiniers. They do pretty well with rifles. We don't necessarily have to dedicate them to a charge. But come on, boys. We've got cavalry for a reason. In fact, we've got cavalry for a reason over here, too. General, a stab general unit pushing through our men. Get this dog. He might just manage to get away. I'm still taking shots at the general there. Reload, fire. And here we go, guys. Bringing in the cavalry for a charge. Unfortunately, the general remains elusive. But we're going to head over here with the cav and try and hit the enemy on the flank quickly. Get behind them. Make sure that we're directly firing at the militia here. I think another reason these guys will break quite quickly is these are militia units. Vive la France! You fight for a Kaiser? What's wrong with you? These are not real men. So far, so good. That regiment of militia, however, is breaking through, and so is the gendarme. So we got another one here. A gendarme of cavalry coming through. We're immediately getting into square formation to try and hold back the attack. You know what? I'm going to charge that enemy general with our existing cavalry over here. But I want to keep the fire on the enemy infantry. Make sure that our main front line is still okay. It is indeed. In fact, I'm going to bring forward this unit. And how about our infantry over here? We're just really quickly going to take a look here. In fact, I'm going to bring in the carabiniers, not to charge, just to fire on the enemy. Both our cavalry and one of their own units are running. We've got an additional cavalry unit here on the right side, though. I'm going to push him forward and see if we can't assist a little bit more. They are finally pushing into this tree line. And that's definitely got me worried. The battle could certainly change quite dramatically now. Assist the men, boys. We're sending in all the cav at this point, guys. We are dedicating a full cavalry charge here. Alright, look at those carabiniers firing as they advance. I just love that. And in fact, one of the other enemy infantry units is reforming to face our line here. I think we're going to flank charge them. Might as well grab them on both sides and finish them off. Très bien. A victory is a victory, and man, do we desperately need one right here in the Rhineland right now. After that magical push by the Prussians, and that is what we're calling it, a magical push. We want to try and cut down as many of them as we can. In fact, over here, I'm going to get some bayonets, and we're going to charge in with the men. With the grenadiers. This is what they're made for, close combat. Get in there, boys. Use those bayonets. See how the rest of the line is going. I don't like how it's going over here on this side at all. Looks like we did manage to break that unit, but I think it's mostly due to the flank fire from the Carabineers. Start focusing on the enemy's Grenadier Battalion here. Let's focus exclusively on him. And if the two here manage to get through, that's okay. As you can see, it looks like one of the units did manage to push our artillery down, and it's a regiment of militia. How embarrassing is that? Shoot him down then, before he's a threat to our general. 122 of 150. Boys, we need to drop those numbers significantly. Let's get over here to the main fight, guys. It's still going on, but it looks like our men may be just barely winning here. Just barely, man. The bite of winter has arrived, but if they can win this battle, they might be able to avoid another turn in the wilderness, starving and freezing to death. And it is looking damn good right now, but I want to bring in the rest of the men. I don't even trust those Prussians retreating. Prussians don't retreat, which leads me to believe that they will return if we give them a chance to. So let me actually stop the charge here. I'm not going to fire with this unit because we have a chance of getting a friendly fire situation. But with the rest of our men, we absolutely will fire. It's nothing personal, Prussia. Nothing personal at all. But you've got a lot of citizens now that you've taken over the Netherlands. Of course, the battle is not even close to over. We still have this entire group attacking us over here. The Grenadier Battalion. And this is another reason I really want to try to maximize kills against the retreating Prussian units. I don't want them returning. While we're at it, we'll go ahead and knock out all of that artillery. And I'm going to try to flank the rest of the enemy here. Really try to maximize this offensive and make the best of it, of course. Let's go ahead and just quickly cut down the artillery pieces. No need to keep those around. Look at that pile of bodies, man. That's pretty rough. The Grove of Blood, we'll call it. Now, another issue is through this battle, quite a few of our regiments are down to like half strength, so there could be some rest and recuperation involved here for sure. Just want to get closer so that those rounds really count. Charge right into the back of the enemy with the cavalry there, and with this unit, immediately begin opening fire on them. Not exactly too happy with the range here, but if they just aim a little higher than expected, they will get hits here. Here we go! Full-on attack. You know what? We should probably attack with the Carabineers as well. Really surprise them. Let's do it. Actually meet right in the middle with the Dragoons. Oh, they're actually responding to this quite well, but I think one charge will knock these Grenadiers into a definite retreat. I just get the feeling they've only got 56 men left. Boom! 56 down to 41, down to 35, down to 32. No, they are running. And we're also going to follow up on the Grenadier Battalion, guys. They are managing to beat back our other cavalry unit. Let's see if we can finish them off with one more concentrated attack. Looks like the crew of our howitzer is not happy. Just stay there, boys. You're doing absolutely fine. We want to keep you in that position. You know, if we want to be real tryhards, I guess we can push forward with this infantry unit. But I'm pretty sure we got this at the end of the day. Alright, let's get the cavalry out of here. They're just getting slaughtered. They did their job, which was, of course, to get a good old-fashioned charge started. And now, once they're past, I want to get our infantry focused on the enemy. Continue doing damage here. Oh, I like that. Just barely cleared the line with the cavalry. I like that a lot. It was well done. They still have quite a few men, 95 of 135. Still have quite a few men. And in fact, that Grenadier Battalion is holding up its own pretty well. I think the enemy Grenadiers are some exceptional units. So we keep in mind from now on, hire Prussian Grenadiers if we can. Try and get those Prussian Grenadiers. Of course, the Prussians have always been known for a military tradition, and it wasn't really shown very well with their infantry. We did manage to break them over time, but it's shown quite well with these Grenadier regiments. They don't seem to have a quit button. There we go! Très bien! That flanking shot did a ton of damage. You can see quite a few of them on the ground there. Let's hope that it's not much farther from now. In fact, I'm going to charge once again with the cavalry. I'm really tempted to actually charge with bayonets at their flank. But let's be safe here. Let's not take any unnecessary risks. They managed to break 3 of our units in a flank charge. That could end the battle for us, so I'm not even going to take that risk. Just keep on firing here at the enemy, and in fact, I'm going to bring additional units forward. 64. Now, if that doesn't change significantly in about a minute, then I might break, but look at that. We're making them run already. And even the second unit of Prussians shall retreat. Now, of course, we're going to have to take over this city afterwards, which to me suggests we really need to try and get as many casualties as possible. I'd love to be an honorable foe here, but let's face it, we're only a couple of years out of a revolution. No one's expecting us to be particularly humane right now, and we can't have a bunch of Prussians going back to the city, defending it once again. It's just not going to work out in our favor. So what I'm going to do right now is just run down as many of them as I can there, run down additional ones over here, and at least wipe those Grenadier regiments off the face of the map, mon ami. Just want to take a look here at our revolutionary forces, man. What an incredible job here at this battle. I think probably one of our longer battles in the game. But they did manage to hold their own, just barely. I don't think a lot of people are going to be coming off this battlefield alive, unfortunately, if they got hit at all. Well, the wolves are going to have a fine meal in the way of all of these Prussian troops that we're killing here and leaving on the ice. But again, it's a job that has to be done. I think after a few more saber slashes here, I will go ahead and call it. The rest of their units, particularly their militia and their other infantry units, did, it looks like, manage to kind of escape here. So maybe we can just let 24 Grenadiers escape. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm being, too nice here? Maybe I am. Nonetheless, I like the look of this fight. Okay, guys, let's call it a victory is a victory. And we can't forget that we've got that second army on the way. So I'm thinking right now we maybe just want to hold our position and move in with the second force here, because we're still going to have to finish that battle at Cologne. Still going to have to actually charge in for the siege, I believe. They will, of course, be significantly weakened. So let's follow up here, and we can't forget also about our colonial situation. We do want to try to address that soon if we can.
There's a port in this region that has not yet...
Calais. We will build the port of Calais. I think that's going to be extremely important. But let me move this army up here again, just to make absolutely sure that the city is ours. We have taken the city with Niel-Fossé, and I believe he also unlocks an ability here, a trait. So he is known as an attacking general, much like Agrippa himself. Pretty cool, guys. There we go. We've got the Rhineland in our hands. However, now, of course, we've got to rebuild a very battered and bloodied army. Let's get to that task immediately. Obviously, a lot of tasks ahead of us here in the Revolutionary Committee. So let's just keep our eyes on the prize and do the best we can. Again, those colonies are going to be an issue, but I'm not sure we can necessarily worry about them right now. Right now, our main focus has to be over here on the mainland, because we are still at war, let's face it, with the Prussians. These guys are still a big problem, and I'm certain that that's not the only army that they're going to have here. Nonetheless, guys, I do hope that you enjoyed this part of the series, this turn of the series. We are going to have a new rule here, and I don't think you guys are in any trouble. or have to concern yourselves with this, but basically, I'm really shooting for just making this a channel that essentially, you know, looks good to YouTube as well as is appreciated by the subscribers. And what that means is if we start having a series that are like under, like, let's say 400 views an episode, we gotta torch them. We just gotta let them go, unfortunately. This one's been doing pretty well, and that's actually why I prioritized it over the Operational Art of War 4. So just something to keep in mind for the future, guys. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. I have to make money off this thing. If I don't, there's really no point in me doing it. It just is the truth. So I don't want to lie to you guys, and just let you know that, again, if a series gets low and I have to cut it, it's nothing personal. And what I am going to do is the second that that episode reaches about 400 views, I'll release the next one. Thank you so much, my friends. I love this fight. I think it was an absolute worthwhile battle and established to the Prussians that we are not going to be destroyed as easily as the Dutch. It's just not going to happen. If they want to deal with us, it's going to have to be dealing with us in a diplomatic fashion, because if they want to fight us on the battlefield, we'll kill them down to the last man.